Welcome to Star Chill Vibes. Dive into the universe of astrology, cosmic energies, and celestial insights with a relaxed, fun twist. Perfect for stargazers who love to vibe with the cosmos. Get your dose of Zodiac, moon moods, and spacey good vibes.
Today, we're doing a really critical deep dive. We're looking at the blueprint of 2026. And this isn't just background noise. We're going to synthesize some pretty intense material covering all the major planetary shifts for the year, and we're tailoring it specifically for you, the Aquarius native.
Right, so that's whether your sun, moon, or your rising sign is in Aquarius.
Exactly. We really want to go beyond the usual forecast to get into the granular details of how these heavy hitters, Pluto, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter, are all going to interact.
And it sounds like the big theme for the year is integration. It's this idea that radical self-renewal is coming for you, but you also have to consciously build the structures to actually sustain it.
You've hit it, exactly. The sources we've looked at paint 2026 as this pivotal moment of weaving together what feel like opposites. The structure has to meet imagination.
Right.
And these huge, even startling personal changes are going to be revealed as part of a much, much bigger plan. So our goal here is to translate all of these complex outer planet movements into clear, month-by-month insights.
So you can see how you'll navigate transformation, claim your freedom, and accept some new responsibilities along the way.
Yes.
So where do we start? I feel like we have to set the stage first. There's this foundational pressure that's already building, right? We need to talk about Pluto and Uranus.
Absolutely. We have to start with Pluto and Aquarius. This is the ultimate generational energy, and you're living right in the middle of it. This planet of destruction, transformation, rebirth. It just made this monumental shift into your sign.
And it's staying there for a long time.
A very long time. Until March 2043. And because this is all happening in your first house, the house of your identity, your self-image, how you show up in the world, this is the deepest kind of personal demolition you can experience.
Demolition, that's a strong word. So this isn't like a subtle renovation. This is a painful but necessary destruction of the old self.
It has to be. And the themes being torn down and rebuilt are pure Aquarius. Technology, AI, your ideas about community, your highest hopes, and even the definition of revolution itself.
And the cycle that started back in 2023, 2024, that was just the appetizer.
That was just the intro. 2026 is when you're living fully inside this Plutonian mandate. It's forcing you to confront your relationship with your own power and what you're really willing to destroy to become authentic.
I see this conflict coming up again and again in the research. This tension between the individual and the collective. Pluto in Aquarius is pushing for fierce authenticity, but Aquarius itself rules groups.
That is the core dynamic for you in this era. On one hand, you feel this massive pull towards freedom, independence, innovative social structures. But on the other hand, the sources warn that this transit can also bring a focus on control, surveillance, oppression, often from forces you can't even see.
So the challenge is, how do you be this new, transformed version of yourself within a community without giving up your individual power?
That's the integration challenge.
Exactly.
It's learning to be your full self without sacrificing who you are to fit into the tribe.
Wow. Okay, that's a heavy foundation. So now let's bring in Uranus, your modern ruler, the Great Awakener. It's changing signs in 2026, which feels like a different flavor of chaos.
A completely different flavor. Uranus is finally shaking off its long journey through Taurus, and it's shifting solidly into Gemini on April 26, 2026, and it'll stay there until 2033.
And for Aquarius, where does that land?
It lands in your fifth house. That's the sector of creativity, true self-expression, romance, fun, even children.
So after the intensity of Pluto dismantling your identity, Uranus in the fifth house sounds almost playful, chaotic, but maybe fun.
It's the cosmic defibrillator for your creative life. I love that. Uranus is innovation. And in the fifth, it brings this burst of energy, maybe even shocking liberation, to your creative projects, your hobbies, your love life.
So if you've been feeling stuck in a rut, creatively or romantically, this is the transit to shake things up.
It's time to take those radical, unexpected risks. Launch that passion project. Embrace an unconventional romance. The energy is there to support it.
Okay, so we have Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, both air signs. The sources were saying this air element surge just speeds everything up.
It's doubly impactful for an air sign like you. I mean, collectively, Uranus and Gemini is going to revolutionize communication platforms, travel, social media. Life is going to feel like it's accelerating at an exponential rate.
I saw a really interesting paradox in the research about this.
Yes. The speed and the stress of all this information becomes so intense that the counter effect is that some Aquarians, or maybe a movement you lead, will want to profoundly detach from it all.
A search for silence in the chaos.
Exactly. This air surge demands you adapt fast. It sets the stage for accelerated and ultimately positive change, especially later in the year.
Before we go on, we have to touch on the grand fixed cross. This was mentioned as this underlying tension for this whole era.
Oh, absolutely. We can't talk about Pluto in your first house without acknowledging that you're sitting on one point of this cross. It's squaring Leo, your 7th house of relationships, Taurus in your 4th, and Scorpio in your 10th.
And all 4 of those are fixed signs. They're stubborn, they resist change.
They're notoriously stubborn. So as Pluto is destroying and rebuilding your identity in the first house, that pressure is immediately impacting everything else.
Your home life, your career, and especially your relationships.
It creates systemic pressure. Your desire for independence, for radical change, is going to clash intensely with your need for stability, with power structures, and crucially in 2026 with your partnerships. A lot of the fated events of the year are going to be triggered by this tension.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not just one transit, it's a whole high-pressure environment. Let's move on to the next layer for 2026, this rare air-fire shift with Saturn and Neptune.
Well, first we have to honor the final lessons of the previous year. 2026 opens with Saturn and Neptune just wrapping up their time in Pisces.
And that's been in your 2nd house, right? Finances, self-worth.
Yes, your resources. So January is like the final exam in financial maturity. Saturn is demanding disciplined, realistic budgeting. And Neptune at the same time is dissolving any illusions you have about your self-worth or your money.
So if you're holding on to false beliefs about what you can afford or what you're worth, these last few weeks are designed to just wash them away.
Exactly, before the planets move on. And then the truly history-making shift happens, February 20th.
The Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries.
This is a seismic event. On February 20th, they conjunct in Aries. Neptune enters definitively, Saturn follows. This conjunction is incredibly rare. We're talking once every 500 years. It signals a historical turning point.
A 500-year cycle landing in Aries, the sign of self, of new beginnings, of conflict.
Yes, and for you, Aquarius, this lands squarely in your 3rd house that governs communication, your mindset, your local community, how you learn.
So how does that play out? You have Saturn, which is structure and discipline, meeting Neptune, which is dreams and spirituality, in the house of communication.
It's a powerful call for disciplined planning in how you think and how you communicate. Neptune in Aries is asking for a mature, pioneering kind of spirituality, one that you live, not just talk about.
And Saturn is there to make sure those breakthroughs are practical and grounded.
It's the mental scaffolding. You're being asked to take responsibility for your beliefs and how you articulate them.
The sources warned about the victim side of Neptune here. How do you avoid that?
In the 3rd house of mindset, the pitfall is self-delusion. It's projecting your own confusion onto others. You have to use that Saturnian structure to communicate your complex, transformed identity without retreating into this vague, ungrounded victim story.
And what about the collective impact of this 500-year cycle?
Well, historically, these conjunctions correlate with the breakdown of traditional structures, the rise of powerful ideologies. The very basis of conflict starts to shift.
So it becomes less physical and more
Psychological.
spiritual.
Exactly. It's a battle of narratives. And for Aquarius, the ruler of ideology, your mental landscape becomes the critical battlefield.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure on the 3rd house. Okay, let's bring in Jupiter, the great expander. It seems like it's offering some blessings to balance things out.
It really is. Jupiter is splitting its energy in 2026. The first half of the year brings one kind of expansion, and the second half brings a breakthrough somewhere else.
Okay, so from January to the end of June.
From January to June 30th, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, which is your 6th house of work, health, service, and your daily routines.
That sounds like a blessing for just getting your life in order, expanding your team, improving your health.
It's a massive expansion of service and well-being. It's perfect for getting a better job, taking on more responsibility, or starting a powerful new health routine. And it feels protected.
Protected how?
One of the sources noted that Jupiter, from this position, casts a protective aspect on Saturn. It suggests that the hard work you put into your health and your routines in the first half of the year provides the stability you need for what comes later.
So you have to build up your internal resilience first.
You must. Because then, at mid-year, everything pivots.
Right. On June 30th, Jupiter enters Leo.
And it lights up your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, marriage, and even open enemies. Given the tension from that grand fixed cross we talked about, this Jupiter transit is explosive.
Is this the famous transit for commitment?
It absolutely is. The sources are so strong on this. If you're single, this transit is a massive gift. It exponentially increases the chances of meeting a significant forever person.
And if you're already in a relationship?
It signifies major steps, moving in together, getting engaged, getting married. The 7th house focus ensures that relationships, both romantic and professional, grow stronger and more public.
So the universe forces you to redefine your identity with Pluto in the 1st, and then immediately pushes you to redefine your primary relationships with Jupiter in the 7th.
It's the ultimate balancing act. You can't have your radical independence without redefining how you partner with someone else.
Okay, let's get into the month by month. We need to go into detail here, starting with January 2026.
So January starts with this necessary integration phase. The Sun and Mercury move into Aquarius, so the focus is on you. But the energy from the previous month is still lingering.
What energy is that?
Mars, Venus, and Mercury are just finishing up their time in Capricorn, which is your 12th house, the house of endings, solitude, and getting your head straight.
So January is about tying up loose ends before the big shifts hit in February.
Exactly. It's a clearing out phase. It encourages mental clarity, especially around unconscious patterns that affect your finances, before the spotlight snaps onto you in the 1st house.
What about love life in January?
There's an alignment with Venus in the South Node that's encouraging you to clear out old emotional baggage. For couples, it's about addressing those truths you've been ignoring. For singles, it suggests a karmic connection is possible, but it requires total honesty right from the start.
And health, with Jupiter in the 6th.
The challenge is to start slow. Balance the high energy that Mars is providing with structured, consistent rest. Don't burn out before the year even really begins.
Okay, so then we hit February, the real hinge month.
This is the month of initiation. The most critical date is February 17th. We have an annular solar eclipse at 28 degrees of Aquarius.
Landing directly in your 1st house.
Directly on your identity. Solar eclipses are not subtle. They are high-speed, unpredictable agents of change. This is a fated new beginning that will directly impact who you are.
And what does it mean that it's at 28 degrees, so late in the sign?
A late degree eclipse suggests it's a culmination. It's the final lesson from the past few years of identity work. It's that last big push to shed the old self so the new Plutonian identity can fully emerge.
And then just a few days later, the 500-year cycle kicks off.
Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries on February 20th. This lands in your 3rd house of communication. So the eclipse hits the start button on the new you, and this conjunction gives you the philosophy and the structure to actually talk about it.
So you get the new identity and the new operating manual almost at the same time.
A perfect way to put it. It's the moment to commit to a mature philosophical direction.
Okay, so moving into March, the energy shifts. It feels more emotional, more reflective.
It does. On March 3rd, we get the total lunar eclipse at 12 degrees of Virgo, and this lands in your 8th house.
Lunar eclipses are endings, culminations, and the 8th house is deep stuff. Shared finances, intimacy, hidden truths.
Exactly. So this is a time for a major emotional release tied to financial agreements, maybe ending a cycle of debt or confronting some deep psychological attachments in your closest relationships.
So things that have been hidden about joint accounts or debts could come to the surface now.
They're forced to the surface for a final resolution. And to make it all more intense, there's a communication slowdown at the same time.
Of course, Mercury retrograde.
Mercury is retrograde in Pisces from February 25th through March 20th, right in your 2nd house of personal finances.
So review. But don't sign anything major.
Do not sign anything. The sources are crystal clear on this. Don't start large new purchases. Don't initiate big financial decisions. Use this time to reflect on what you truly value, not what you can acquire.
Then we get to April, and we have the long-awaited shift of Uranus into Gemini.
Yes, April 26th, Uranus definitively enters Gemini, your 5th house. This is the official kickoff for 7 years of innovation in your creative life, in romance, and fun.
So you might just stumble upon a creative breakthrough.
You could. They're unconventional and surprising. You might suddenly discover a new artistic talent or experience a shocking but positive event related to a child or a passion project. This is when you really start to feel that speed of the air element surge.
Okay, then in May, it seems like there's a necessary pause.
A very necessary pause. On May 6th, Pluto stations retrograde at 5 degrees of Aquarius, back in your 1st house. This lasts until October 15th.
So the revolution of the self turns inward for a while.
It does. It forces you to introspect on the power dynamics unfolding in your life. Are you using this new identity with integrity, or are you becoming too rigid, too controlling?
So it's like a cosmic quality control check on your transformation.
That's it, exactly. It's a check on self-sabotage and the shadow side of your own independence. But even with Pluto slowing down, the sources describe April, May, and June as being really cherished times for love.
How does that work?
It's the grace note from Jupiter, still in your 6th house. Faster-moving planets are creating these lovely transits that facilitate heartfelt talks and romantic connections, especially if they come up through your work or daily routines.
So love can be found in more practical settings.
Yes, not purely idealistic ones.
Okay, that wraps up the first half of the year. Let's cross into the second half. It seems like the focus shifts heavily to partnerships and refinement.
It really does. July is marked by massive expansion. Jupiter has just entered Leo in your 7th house on June 30th, so the focus is now fully on relationships.
And July has two really powerful harmonious aspects.
It does. First, on July 15th, we have Uranus sextile Neptune. A sextile is an aspect of opportunity, of flow. This one connects Neptune's visionary power in your 3rd house of communication with Uranus's inventive drive in your 5th house of creativity.
So your big visionary ideas can now flow easily into actual creative projects or romantic risks?
Precisely. The sources call this a moment where you glimpse these futures that feel imaginative but also completely attainable. The new you finally finds its voice and its creative outlet.
And then another blessing arrives right after that.
On July 21st, Jupiter sextiles Uranus. This connects the expansion in your 7th house partnerships with the innovation in your 5th house creativity.
So a sudden turn of fortune through a partnership.
Very likely. The advice is to take intelligent risks now in your partnerships and creative ventures. Unexpected engagements, successful project launches, breakthroughs in a difficult relationship, all highly favored.
Then we move into August, and the theme of fated partnership just explodes.
It really comes to a head. August 12th is the total solar eclipse at 20 degrees of Leo, right in your 7th house of partnerships.
So this isn't just a good day for a date. This is a bold, fated new beginning.
Fated is the word. Eclipses in the 7th house can bring new contracts, marriages, or the sudden appearance of a major partner who is destined to be part of your life story.
And August also brings some closure on karmic financial issues.
Yes. On August 18th, the North Node leaves Pisces. This closes an 18-month chapter of karmic healing around faith, sacrifice, and illusion that's been playing out in your 2nd house of finances. It's a clear ending to old debts or agreements.
And there's one final emotional release on that front.
On August 28th, a partial lunar eclipse at 4 degrees of Pisces in that same 2nd house. This gives the final emotional closure on personal finances and values. The sources also hint that a side business might bring in some surprise income this month.
Interesting. Okay, let's get into September and October. It feels like a deep review of career and values.
Well, first, on September 15th, we get a second Neptune sextile Pluto. This just continues to refine that beautiful flow between your dreams and your transformed self. It makes sure your revolution is spiritually informed.
But the most demanding part of this quarter is Venus retrograde. This needs a deep dive.
It does. On October 3rd, Venus stations retrograde in Scorpio, in your 10th house of career and public image. It then moves backward into Libra, your 9th house of worldview, until November 13th. It's a critical 40-day review period.
Okay, let's break that down. The first part, in Scorpio in the 10th house.
Venus in the 10th is about your reputation and career. In Scorpio, it demands ruthless honesty about power dynamics at work. Are your goals aligned with the new you? Old secrets or resentments with authority figures could surface for review.
And when it moves back into Libra in the 9th house?
The focus shifts from power to fairness. The 9th house is about ethics, long-distance partnerships, higher learning. In Libra, Venus wants balance. So you may have to renegotiate contracts or relationships that no longer feel equitable.
And while all this review is happening, Pluto is finally starting to move forward again.
Yes. On October 15th, Pluto stations direct at 3 degrees of Aquarius. After 5 months of introspection, clarity returns. The transformation is no longer just internal, it's ready to be executed out in the world.
Finally, we get to November and December, where it feels like everything starts to sync up.
It really does. Venus stations direct on November 13th, so the fog lifts from your career goals. But the most important long-term aspect for you happens on November 29th. The Uranus trine Pluto.
A trine is the most harmonious aspect. What does this mean for Aquarius long-term?
This is the master alignment. It sets a multi-year tone where technological progress and deep political power are flowing together smoothly. For you, it harmonizes your revolutionized identity in the first house with your innovative self-expression in the fifth.
So the universe finally gives you the support you need to integrate all the intense changes of the year.
It's like a lightning rod, grounding all that radical change. And the final piece falls into place on December 11th when Saturn turns direct in Aries in your third house.
So the discipline planning you started back in February can now move forward with confidence.
With a breath of fresh air. You end the year with this profound sense of emotional maturity and self-awareness. You have a new foundation, and it's set for the decade ahead.
So, to summarize this incredibly impactful year, 2026 for Aquarius is the ultimate stress test in self-sovereignty and relationship integrity.
It is. It's all defined by Pluto in your sign, driving that 2-decade identity shift. We saw the new beginning for your identity in February and a fated expansion of your partnerships in August.
And tying it all together was that rare Saturn-Neptune conjunction, demanding that you master how you communicate your new reality.
And your success in 2026 really depends on realizing that the structure from Saturn and the dream from Neptune can, in fact, coexist.
It's so important to remember that these are slow burn alignments. You don't just feel it on the exact day. You look back in 6 months and realize your whole life is different.
The practical takeaway is clear. Review your life structures, be honest during the retrogrades, and seize those opportunities, especially in July, that let your unique talents shine through partnership.
And finally, we have to come back to that grand fixed cross, that underlying pressure.
Yes. The cross Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius means your fixed ideas, your tendency toward ideological absolutism, it's all going to be intensely challenged, especially in your relationships.
So the final thought is?
Final thought is for you to consider how your fierce independence and intellectual rigidity must transform when they're challenged by the absolute necessity of a true equitable partnership in 2026. The new self you're building must learn how to compromise, not just control.
If this deep dive helped you vibe with the cosmos and understand the magnitude of your 2026 celestial roadmap, please remember to comment your insights, like this video, and subscribe to Star Chill Vibes for more celestial guidance.